Movies are back, baby. Or is it? Well, I have a guest right now that's going to answer that and much more as we go beyond the take. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Beyond the Take. I am actor, producer, and host Marc Chouen. Today, Michael J. Putty cannot be with us, but I am joined by a very special man. He is an award winner for his filmmaking, an award nominee for his writing. He is the all-talented filmmaker master. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Jamal Hodge.
Hey man, it's great to be here, Mark. Thank you for
What's up,
having
my
me,
man?
man.
No, of course, Jamal. You are actually the first non-actor here in the podcast.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say the first black dude. I was like, I was like, yo, wait, he ain't gonna say that.
I mean, like, are you? Yeah, I guess you are too. So, so two firsts right there.
Actually, I've done some acting though, man. I was in this film called Wild Men. It's a feature length film, like a found footage Yeti film, and I dressed up as the Yeti. I'm played Bigfoot. I was on these giant stilts in the middle of the forest in this suit, and so I've done a lot of creature acting, and I've done like little like I always play like scumbags. They always got me. I don't know why. You
Look,
know what I'm saying? They got me being like,
you're such a big guy.
yeah,
Like
they got me like abusing some woman in some movie. You know what I'm saying? And they pick like
you're
the most skinny, fragile looking chick, and I'm just like supposed to be grabbing her up and shit. It's crazy.
because visually that's scary. I
Yeah,
get it. I get it. I remember when I first met you, like I'm no slouch. I'm 6'2", but you're bigger than me.
yeah, yeah, and fatter than you too. I mean, you can say
Oh, I mean, dude, you can take me.
Kingpin.
You, you, you can take
Michael
me.
Clark Duncan's Kingpin, right? Remember
I
that?
do. I do. No actor's going to like speak out to you. You got to set them straight real
Oh
fast.
man, but yeah.
So Jamal, like I'm curious, man, because like I speak to a lot of actors and whatnot. Was the arts in general, filmmaking, you
Hmm.
know, what gravitated to you towards that? Like for me, it was about being on stage, it was about performing, it was for being in front of the camera. Was that the case for you too? And it changed, or was it always about behind the scenes for you?
Well, I'll speak for myself, but because I'm a director, I'm also going to speak for everybody else too.
Amen.
'Cause that's what we do.
When I
But
say I really mean we.
yeah, yeah, I'm talking about everybody, not me, but you. But no, I think a lot of times as artists, not every artist, we're kind of born with a hole in our soul.
Mm.
A lot of us, as in our formative years, were either, you know, I'll talk general first and then about myself. Um, but we were like either ignored, abused, or neglected. And a lot of times to fill that hole in our soul, we pursue creation and validation from the masses. And I think that a lot of people, as a director, you learn that to manage artists, you're managing a lot of I don't like the word broken, but a lot of people with cracks on their spirit. And sometimes it's those cracks that create kind of like the best compassion in people. Like in the best actors, their pain creates an empathy and a compassion for other people. And they're able to therefore connect to the human experience on a multitude of levels and then bring that in a way where they show you yourself when they perform, right? That's high level actors. Other people, like with myself, with the arts, I had a really hard childhood. I was at those times where I was homeless as a kid. I've
Wow.
gone 3 or 4 days without eating food. I even were in some extremely abusive foster homes when I was younger. And the only recourse I had was storytelling, the to escape to the land of dreams. So I was a daydreamer a lot. I spent a lot of
Wow.
time daydreaming. And I wrote a lot too. I wrote maybe like about, I'd say 14 books on hand, like shorthand.
Wow.
But so for me, it was just kind of like writing really kind of storytelling saved me from the horrors of the real world. And over the course of my life, there was a healing process that took a long time.
Mm.
But I feel like whenever I create something, like I the things that I'm creating are creating me. The
Wow.
things you're creating are creating you. The characters you play are finding when you create a character or you create a story, you find the pieces of yourself that were shattered. And as artists, we're picking up all these pieces and rebuilding ourselves again. So that's how I see it.
Wow. No, I feel like that's all I've been saying is wow during the whole thing. Uh, that's incredible. So writing was so just opened all the doors for you as far as your love for the arts. It was a way to escape.
I think all human beings are born with a love for arts. I think we just have to adapt to these systems that we inherit.
Yeah.
And somebody has to, right? So somebody has to protect, somebody has to provide, somebody has to create life, somebody has to get the water, somebody has to gather the fruits and the berries and the nuts, right? So the practicality of survival in life, a lot of times, adapting to these systems that keep us alive, that hide us from death and pleasantries that we deem is too much for our circumstance, for our consciousness. These things kind of like keep us away from our artistic core.
What type of like worlds did you create at that point? I mean, like what you're going through like some serious, serious shit.
I mean, I was really into like I was highly influenced by the Dragonlance books. I've always been a nut for astronomy, and I
Mm,
didn't realize it until I got older that the one thing that all those things have in common is that I was looking for another world to be in because I
right,
didn't like the one here.
right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah, no, no, of course, of course.
things that you don't really think about until you get to be an old fuck like me at this age. So it's like, I was looking at these other worlds, even when I was like living in the hood and shit, I would have like these. I had a telescope. I was like the first person to have a telescope, and people used to think I was some sort of pervert or something. I'm not saying I wasn't because I was 15, but you know what I'm saying? Like, but I used to actually look, study the moon, study Mars, Venus, look for Venus, look for Mars, things like that. I'm still a big astronomy, sci-fi head. I'm still really into fantasy. A lot of things that weren't really cool in the hood, like to know, but I felt like I liked the fact that it was so far removed from the life and the environment that was trying to kill me.
No, of course, and then that's incredible. At what point did you realize, when you're writing, it's like, oh man, I'm actually pretty fucking good. Like I could make
Um,
this a career.
when I was in kindergarten,
You
I
knew
think
that
it
early.
part of first grade because I think by the time I was in second grade, or something like that. It was second or third grade. I had written a story. I don't know, man. To me, second to fifth grade is all the same. But it was somewhere in that range that I wrote a story called like a Cinderella story about a kid, a black dude who gets like a fairy godfather comes and it's like Cinderella story, but in reverse. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
In
Yeah.
inverted. I just knew that I was going to be a good writer because I always felt like stories lived in me. I could never escape them. I was always seeing stories everywhere I looked. So I knew
It's
that
just
I
like
would do
a
that.
gift that you had. It seems
Well,
like.
I think it's a gift everybody has. I just think that y- if you're born in harsh environments, you become hyper aware of your surroundings and other people because you
Mm.
have to understand them to survive because you can't beat them in the fight and you can't escape them. They're adults. So you learn how to study people, you start paying attention and you start understanding that everybody's operating on their story of the world, like their operating system. You try to understand the operating system so that you can predict if these people are safe or are they dangerous to you. So I think
Wow.
that a big part of that comes from most of the people who've been abused as children or been in unsafe environments. You'll find that they can read people very, very well. Normally, a person who can read people very well, I know that they went through some traumatic experiences in their life, usually, you know?
I mean, makes sense because then, like, defense mechanism is
Yeah,
up, right?
yeah,
So yeah,
yeah.
no, totally
It
makes
gets a
sense.
bit exhausting though, because then you can be living your body could get wired for stress. So you're
Mm,
always in a stress state. So when there is no stress, you create drama and stressful situations to maintain that feeling of comfort. So a lot of people who are
interesting.
dramatic, they'll do that. They'll start arguments for no reason. They'll start problems with no reason because their resting state now, their wiring is different.
Mhm.
Their body's addicted to stress. So
Wow.
yeah, it's really crazy stuff, you know?
No, yeah, no, that's wild, man. And like, I mean, credit to you. I mean, you found a healthy outlet for what you were going through with, with writing. And then at what point did directing come to play? At what point you're like, yeah, I want to try this directing thing a shot.
So what happened is I was in the you ever heard of Scare Straight program?
Yeah, yes, yeah.
I
I
was
went to
in
one.
that. It took me on my 16th birthday. It was fun to the prison. It was funny, man. They hated me, man. They like it was so bad that the three dudes who afterwards they wanted to talk to me by myself, and it was like, when I was your age, I ain't care if I lived or died anyway either. And I care if I live or die. I'm not like you, man. I'm like, but the dudes they understood where I was because I didn't understand that I was in like a perpetual depression. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? So I didn't know anything outside of that. So they could see it, but I couldn't see it. But that from that trip, um, because the cops felt bad for taking me on my birthday, um, they had this other program, and because I had like I'm putting all my business out here on this podcast, but I like to be
go
real.
for it, man.
But like I had like one of those, school counselors because I used to get into fights a lot and all the stupid stuff, right? I wasn't really violent, but people approached me in any disrespectful way, I would just punch them in the face. Or again, it was bad, right? I was very impulsive with that. So like, they gave me like a counselor because they thought I guess I was crazy, and I had this whole book that I had written, and she read it. She's like, "This is amazing! Like, why are you here with me?" But then she started to see, and we're still friends to this day. She became like almost like an aunt to me.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
her Frank Dow, who was her husband, he passed during the pandemic. He was like a father to me, and I learned so much of him. He's the person that really set me straight, like in terms of just getting me right, like get my head right, having that masculine presence in my life, and it helped me with my writing. And then they took me to this program called DCTV, and they were hiring in Downtown Community Television Center. They had this program called Pro TV, and Pro TV had only been like it ran for a while. They wanted to reboot it. At that time it was cool in New York City to be wearing fatigue, so I was all fatigued up. I came to the interview like 2 hours early. It was like, who is this kid? And Hey Young, Park, I'll never forget. She looked at me and she saw past all that nonsense and all that stuff. And she talked to me for a while and she was like, and she gave me a shot. She put me in that program. And from that program, we became the most decorated film program in America for a while. I mean, the Hullen
Wow.
Brothers stuff was looking at us. We did a bunch of documentaries, uh, you know, and that program was intensive. You learned how to do everything, learned how to shoot. We were editing tape to tape. So we learned how to use, I don't know if you know what that is, young man. But we was editing tape to tape, bro. you know, all these different things with the technology was different, man. And like, yeah, I'll never forget that they took a chance on me. I had never had anybody take a chance on me like that before. Somebody to trust me with these things, you know what I'm saying? And I really doubled down on it. And then I started seeing the power of filmmaking.
You talk about how you grew up and then you go into writing, directing, and all these different things. I mean, you have countless movies have made the film festivals. You have another one coming out, Take It to the Grave, that's going to be premiering at let me get this right, the Martha's Vineyard of African American Film Festival, August 8th, correct?
Yeah, yes.
Let's
August 8th at the Martha's Vineyard African American Film Festival. It's an Oscar qualifier, qualifying film festival. I would say one of the big four African American film festivals, it's like ABFF, Martha's Vineyard, I would say Urban World and Pan African. Some people say Bronze Lens and interchange those, one of those, but those are like the big five. You know what I'm saying?
well, first off,
Um,
congratulations. That's
Thank you.
awesome. I
I
You
mean, it's
showed
not
me a
just me. It's my cast and my crew. They worked really hard on this. I mean, it was kind of it was one of those hard shoots. We didn't have enough resources. The work was really ambitious. We had a sponsor, and we was having difficulty getting certain things with them. We
oh
was having
what
difficulties with the money.
oh always the
You know,
money.
I had some good producers stepped up, gave their locations, Michael Tosner, he did a great job of offering his home and his space to us. And then we used the surrounding regions as well, like that. Ali Williams, she was from the Nonstop Show Group, or it's a production company that I work with closely from New Jersey, run
Okay.
by Maxon. And I had seen her come up because she had worked with me in other capacities. So I wanted to give her an opportunity on this to be like an EP. Because originally this film was made for another program, but then it's kind of extreme. And they was like, well, we don't know if we can show this. I was like, well, but you read the script. Like, what are you talking about? And then but it was all good, you don't want to put somebody in the bind, you know what I'm saying? I always
Right.
believe that everything has its place and will find its place over time. So like we had found this place because it went to it's premiered at even bigger, more bougie film festival.
Oh, like which ones? Like which
Which is the
ones?
Martha's Vineyard, which is the Martha's Vineyard one is like it's very prestigious, but it's bougie as hell. You know what I mean?
Mm.
But it's a great time. I've
No.
been there back in the day, so it's a great time. But yeah, we have a great cast. We actually have like a real married couple playing, the interests,
Okay.
Jalil and you know.
How is that like working with a married couple that were in the film
It's
together?
interesting. It's
Yeah.
interesting because sometimes you can make the mistake of thinking if you're speaking to one, you're speaking to both.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of
Yeah.
times, like, oh, well, I spoke to your husband about it, or I spoke to your wife about it. It's like
You
you
just
think,
assume they have this communication.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then they're also hyper protective of each other, so you gotta respect that as well. You know what I'm saying? You got to be very intentional, especially with the husband.
Right. With like, I always wondered because I remember like Stanley Kubrick when he directed like Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman during Eyes Wide Shut. They were a married couple during that, and I always wondered like during those intimate scenes how awkward that must have been. Was there anything like that going on? Like, were there any
We
intimate
actually do
moments you
have
had to
it.
actually direct?
We do have an intimate scene in this film. That's the funny part about it. That's one
Yeah.
of the reasons why I wanted to give them a shot and put them in both in the same film. Because normally I wouldn't do that because I think it's like creating a pocket loyalty inside of a group, a bigger group. You see what I'm trying to say? And that
Yeah.
could create issues and stuff like that that I don't like to even deal with, right? But I believed in them, and I saw how strong their love was, and how beautiful and black they are, and their amazing talent. And I said, like, why not? You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And I think with the intimate scenes, it was funny because they started really getting into it. I was like, we're here in the room. Like, and
Cut! Cut!
I was like, yo, she just does it for me, man. She does it for me. I was like, all right, brother, calm down, sir.
It ain't that movie, y'all. It ain't that movie.
While they started the game, we was in the room. I was like, what's going on here? But
Oh, it's,
they're great people, good actors. I have a lot of respect and love for them. I want to see them succeed and win. Um, like all the talent, Brenda, I've worked with Brenda many times now. Anna's a treasure. She's so committed to the work. Um, yeah, it's just the cast is really, really good.
that's awesome. I've always wondered, and I'm sure other actors would probably want to know the answer to this too. Like, as a director, like what exactly are you looking for as an actor that you'd want to work with? You know, um, besides obviously, like, they can act, of course, but like, what grabs your attention?
I'm not really looking to see if you can act. I'm trying to look to see if you can channel the truth. I'm trying to see if you can show me not only yourself, but all of us.
Mm,
Like I'm trying to see the fragment of the kaleidoscope of humanity in you. That's what
mm.
I'm really looking for. I'm looking for discipline, commitment, respect for others, um, emotional control. Not every actor has emotional control. Like when things go bad or when they don't understand something, they just lash out. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
And I used to be like that a long time ago. But now it's just kind of like you gotta leave people space to make mistakes.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you also gotta um see how people respond to their mistakes, because that's what matters, is not the mistake itself but the action that follows the mistake. So I'm
Mm.
always looking to see how people respond to fixable problems. You know what I'm saying, to know if I
So
really can work with them or not. and,
how do you
and
just how do you discover that? Even that's not like an audition tape or anything. You have meetings with these actors, or these just actors you
A
know?
lot of times it's going to sound really bad, but a lot of times with actors, you have to create a level of discomfort to see who they really are.
Ooh.
Not not
Okay.
not in a negative way and not in an extreme way. And a lot of directors won't tell you this, but they do that to check, especially at the indie level where you're going to be asking people to make sacrifices. Anybody you work with on the indie level is going to be asking you on a certain level to make sacrifices because we don't have the resources like a big studio or something like that. So there's going to be probably like times where we might have to ask you to challenge yourself. You know what I'm saying? Um,
What would be an example of that? Do you have a story?
I have a lot of stories, but I don't want to incriminate people.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
But I will say that, you know, there's times, okay, this is messed up. So I was working on my first feature. This was when I was a young director. I was kind of messed up. This is like 12 years ago, 15 years ago, maybe. But like, there was this person that he's doing really good now. He's on like a major show on TV as a constant character. He's doing great now, right? He surpassed us and went on to do great things. But we had him come in, and he was sitting in there. He was our runner up because the first actor who I had started shooting with, he had told his co-star, like, man, I don't really care about this acting shit. I'm just trying to do this to promote my album that's gonna
Oh
drop.
boy.
And she's like, I don't think he's committed like that and stuff. And he was really good. He was authentic. He had a lot of good energy. And then once I heard that, I pretty much just fired him. I took the loss and just like, hey man, you don't seem to be, because I asked him if it was true, and he was like, yeah, I'm not a thing. And I was like, okay, but you can't be a
Yeah.
part of it. So we was already in production, so we started having to shoot scenes that didn't require the main character and shoot around it. And then I was like, well, why don't we invite the runner up? And I just felt he was a little too soft. He didn't have that like urban grit in him. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So we had him come in, and I had him watch us shoot all day. And I kept on telling him like, yeah, we're gonna do the audition with you. Just hold on for a second. Just hold on for a second. And I could see he was getting mad because I'm telling he was there for hours.
Wow.
And then he
Wow.
finally snapped on me, right? He finally snapped. Like, me, I'm the type of person where I don't really care. I've been in so much abusive situations as a kid that I'm not intimidated or moved by. people's anger.
Mhm.
It doesn't really affect me like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I was like, okay. He started being like, yo, I don't care, man. I've been here all day. You guys are wrapping up and you still didn't see me. And y'all need to see me or I'm not coming back. And I was like, yo, this is good. And I told him, like, yo, come back tomorrow. You have the part. And he was like, what? I was like, I just want to see that you have anger in you. You could get fired up and you can get mad and you can let people know that you're upset, that you can fight, that you had the fight in you. You have fight in
Wow.
you. You know, it
Wow.
takes a lot to flip out on in the middle of a set with all these people around you like that.
Right.
Oh,
It,
so he came back and he was the lead in the film. He was phenomenal.
wow.
He was
That's
phenomenal.
incredible, man. Like phew, I don't know, like when you say that, like, I probably would have done my best to stay as professional as possible. Like, like I couldn't imagine doing that. There was one time I lost my cool on set. There was
Yeah,
one time because I cannot stand unprofessionalism.
yeah, of course.
And so it had nothing to do with the director. It had nothing to do with anyone, but like it was a longer day, and I guess this these couple actors, they felt like they've been there too long, whatever. Mind you, we're all getting paid. We're all getting
Yeah.
paid. Um, I guess like set like production was just running a little behind. Whatever happens, especially in the indie level.
Mhm.
They decided to dip out. A few of
What?
them, yeah.
That's
And
crazy.
like,
They
get the point,
walked.
we couldn't shoot the scene. I lost my shit. I lost my
Wow.
shit on them in front of the whole set. I'm like, I forgot even what I said, and I felt so bad because like that's so not me. I've never ever done that in my life. It was like the one and only time I ever have.
But that's valid.
Um,
That's a
yeah,
valid. That's a valid crash out. You know what I'm saying?
because like you wasted all these people's time. Now we can't fucking
Yeah,
shoot the thing.
yeah. And now
You
the time
wasted.
finally comes and you're not there.
You're not there. You wasted their time. You wasted my time. You took time away from me from my daughter that I could have been having. Like
Yeah.
you fucked this whole thing unprofessional. I could not stand it. And, like I don't even remember their
I'm sure
names,
those
but
people will never work with those people again. And
no.
it's a very small industry.
Oh
And a
yeah,
lot you never know who knows who. Because there's a lot of people, even in my case, I know a lot of people that are doing really well now in the industry, right? And it's kind of like there's been times that people will call me up about people. You know what I'm saying?
I'm
Like,
sure.
especially like in the documentary world, especially like in, certain film things, like people will be like, yo, what about this person? What about that person? So it's kind of like you just got to be careful how you treat people and the shit you pull.
Exactly. You have to
But
have
it works both ways though. It's not only actors got to be careful. It's like everybody has to be careful
everyone.
because
Yeah. No. Oh, totally.
people changes. The beauty of our industry is that it's not based on experience. It's based just on talent and luck, and the luck of the draw. So you can be a nobody today, and then somebody tomorrow overnight. It doesn't really like a person that comes in for 6 months because the passive person's been around for 10 years. Is it just on the right project, or it's the beauty of our and the scary. It's the beauty and the horror of our work.
It's a crazy beast, man. I think you have to be a kind of like mentally unwell to be part of this. Like you just like just
True.
I don't know, a masochist, if you will.
Yeah,
I often say it's I think it's cliche and cheesy, but I think it's true at the same time. Like you don't choose it, it chooses you. Because
yeah.
I think anyone that's completely
Tried to quit
sane
like
would
twice.
not choose this. Right.
I tried to quit twice, but I was in the back end. You know what I'm saying? But the thing about it is that we get to have so many experiences in life. I mean, as an actor, you get to live so many lives. It's a
Yeah.
beautiful thing. I really respect the process and the actor and what the actor brings to film. I think that to be a good director, you either gotta love actors or hate them, but you can't be in the middle.
Mm.
Um,
Where do you fall?
well, I mean, unfortunately, I love actors, unfortunately,
Unfortunately, why unfortunately?
because they're a mess. Uh,
We're all messes though.
no, no, all not. Actors are usually like they have very similar brains to criminals.
Ooh, do tell.
So they try to, they don't really respect laws or boundaries, not really. They understand the need for them, but honestly, most actors don't give a shit about them. You know what I'm saying? They think that most laws or things are just boundaries or just, you know, there to be in the way. They think a lot of things are just in the way of their performance. It's like you inherently have to be extremely self-centered to be an actor. The art of acting is an extremely self-centered practice on some level, but it's also a very selfless things. It's weird. It's like it's paradoxical. It's like at one end, nobody in the world um gives more of themselves than actors it does to strangers. Like, let's say like this doesn't sound bad, but a prostitute just gives their body, right? Actor gives their soul, their emotion,
Ooh,
everything, right? So
yeah.
it's and to a bunch of strangers. So it's rough to be that exposed. So I can understand once you get back to your personal life, you have to hold on to who you are and what you want. You have to hold on to that so tightly because by playing all these different characters, it's kind of like it can start to dilute your own identity. And some of these
Yes.
characters you can't really shake them off. Like the guy who did uh, Dan Day Lewis, who did There Will Be
Yes.
Blood. He was
It's
talking
a
about how
perfect
he
example.
characters and he brings it home to his wife, and you can't shake him for years. They're off. So
And that's why he's only done like what?
yeah,
You look at his IMDb, it's like so short. Like
yeah,
he hasn't done a lot of acting roles, but man, when he does them, like I would put him as the greatest actor of all time, me personally. Um,
yeah. I mean, he's my top three for sure. I mean,
yeah.
I love There Will Be Blood. His performance and
Oh, yeah.
it's one of the best performances of all time. And John
What?
Proctor, it's my
Oh my God, you did not just say Crucible to me. You just did not do that.
he killed that shit.
Oh my God. Dude, I played that role in my high school play.
Oh,
That made me fall in love with Daniel Day-Lewis. It made me fall in love with acting. That
yeah.
movie, that performance changed my life, I think. Um, what about you? Like what movie changed your life in a way? Was there a movie that like, you drew influence from
Yeah,
as a director?
so many movies. It's gonna sound weird. I have a very eclectic um list of impactful movies. So the first movie that I saw that made me want to make movies was I was a kid and I seen the first Jurassic Park.
Oh, okay.
And when I saw the Brontosaurus, and then the Brontosaurus stood up and then it landed, and you felt the whole rumble in the theaters,
Hmm.
I fell in love with cinema. That movie really made me fall in love with cinema, like as a
S-
kid.
Still
It's
holds
not,
up today.
yeah, it's crazy. It holds up better than the new ones, which is weird.
I'll get into that in a moment, but yes, I completely agree. I completely
um,
agree.
yeah, I think because it's not CG, right? A lot. I'd say it was a lot, but usually a lot of animatronics. It was a combination
Yeah.
of the two. But like then of course, Baby Boy was great. Um, the one what's the name of the one in Compton? Um, the famous
Straight Outta Compton?
yeah, not maybe
No,
it was
that's recent.
I'm not sure Compton. It'll come back to me. It's a long time ago. I also liked damn, so many movies. I loved The Predator, Total Recall, all the Paul Verhoeven movies. He was the man back in the days. Um,
Classics.
yeah,
Classics.
classics like the best shit I grew up with. I loved the first Matrix, the first time I saw it. I loved
Groundbreaking.
Pan's Labyrinth.
Oh, wow. There you go. There's a name.
It's one of my that movie and City of God are like two of my favorite movies of all time.
Mm.
Like where it really showed me the pinnacle and magic of cinema. And I think both of them kind of reflected my own childhood in different ways. And that's why I was so connected to them.
Do you
Um,
think that magic in cinema still exists today?
Yes. I mean, the magic, I mean, magic is everywhere around us today. I don't know how the fuck this laptop works. Like to me, it might well as why as well be magic. I don't know how the hell. I know in theory, oh, there's a signal and it hits a satellite and the signal's coming back, but I don't really understand how the world is spinning through space so damn fast, moving around other things, and then you have these other things up there that are man-made, and they have to coordinate. And the further you get away from gravity, the differences there are in seconds and time, and it has to predict. It's all this crazy calculations that are beyond me. So it might as well be magic. We live in a world of magic. Most things that we experience, we don't understand or we did not come up with. Dead people came up with it for us. Most of our identity is from dead people.
Mm.
Like nobody thinks about this. Like, I didn't ask to be an American. I was born an American. And
Sure.
somebody told me the story of America, and that story became my reality. So most of the time when you think about life, people are literally dying for stories. Stories are the most important thing in human reality, more important than food, even more important than air. Like you can argue.
Preach, preach. I love
Yeah.
this.
So story is really like it defines everything about us. People will die to make their story right. Like most that's what most wars are about.
I
That's
was about to
crazy.
say, I was about to say,
Yeah,
damn.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's kind of like, and the reason why people are always need justification before they take a certain action is because as long as two people believe in the same story, in the same fiction, then it becomes nonfiction.
Mm. Mm.
So it's like these are like metaphysical ways of understanding the power of story. But like you know, that being said, like I feel like there's magic because of that, there's magic all around us, if you think about it. Just because somebody understands how something works doesn't mean you understand how it works. A lot of times, a lot of times we forget that part, right?
That's true.
It's
That's
like
true.
so there's so many things that we use every day that are really magical devices, or even other human beings can be magical in our lives. I'm sure your wife is magic to you, your kids are magic to you. You know what I'm saying? You had a hand in making them, but it's almost like, who are these people? Like, where the
Right.
hell did they come from? How do they know these things? How are they seeing the world? How come they remind just being around them changes me? Like, it's magic all around us, you
Man,
know?
like yeah, I mean it's true. Like looking at my daughter, I mean every single day it's like witnessing a miracle. Like as
Yeah.
again, cheesy as it sounds, but it's so true. And yeah, I mean in that sense, I mean you're right. I guess magic is alive and well all around us. I was talking specifically with filmmaking because of the fact, like
Mhm.
filmmaking, like, it's weird, right? Like people are saying, like oh, last year it's dead, it's dead, it's dead. Movie industry's dead. But then you look, it's this summer. I mean, going full circle here with Jurassic Park. The new Jurassic Park movie,
A bunch of
killing it at
money.
a box, yeah, killing it at a box office. You have Lilo and Stitch, the that movie, killing it at the box office.
Sinners did
Um,
Sinners did amazing. Ryan Coogler's joint.
the Sinners, you're expecting big numbers for Superman. Um, Fantastic Four, I'm sure they're expecting big numbers as well. So with that being said, are movies back? You think is the movie theater industry back, and how does that affect the indie market for someone like you?
Well, if you're indie, movies are never gone and they're never back. You're in limbo. Usually, you're in a perpetual purgatory. So it doesn't really matter because they
Ah,
give you their money anyway, and those audiences are usually not your audience, so that shit don't matter. You know what I'm saying? But
mm,
in general, I think I think in the West, and this is me making a general statement. I made a lot of those today. Um, as a disclaimer, you know what I mean?
I'll
This is
make sure to
all
add that on the bottom here.
this is all
Disclaimer.
bullshit at the end of the day.
Jamal's
Just my
take.
opinion. Just my opinion. But like I think that we get in the capitalist system, we get used to the habit of excess.
Oh yeah.
So we constantly make
Yeah.
excess the new normal, right? And if we don't reach that point again, then it's a failure. Oh, everything is dead, all this stuff. But in nature, everything expands and contracts. Like everything inhale and exhales in nature. So the industry has to expand and then contract, and then expand and then contract. So there's going to be stages of expansion and stages of contraction, right? And you have to understand that as an artist. And the problem also as well is that as workers, as artists, as people across the board, we're kind of like we're the only creature in nature that kind of tries to stay consistent the same way and do the same patterns no matter how our environment is changing a lot of times. So
Stubbornness.
yeah, we're the same. You try to be the same throughout the seasons, it doesn't make sense, right? If you think about it, it's kind of
Mhm.
like if you, it's sad to see a 50-year-old man or woman still acting like they're 20, right? Because you're in a different season of life, right.
Right.
So it's kind of like it's the same thing with the industry. In times of expansion, you have to behave a certain type of way and move a certain type of way to profit off the expansion. In time of contraction, you have to move in a certain type of way. Does that
Mhm.
make sense?
No, it does. And like, so during a time of contraction, like, what would be the way?
I would say in times of contraction, you have to go more internal, not external. So most of the work will be like I would say like looking inward, reevaluating, restructuring, rebuilding, planning,
Mhm.
being prepared for the next expansion so that when it happens, you don't get caught with your pants down. You know what I mean?
Jamal, I can't post on Instagram about that.
Yeah, but but that's what it's supposed to be, right? It's supposed to be like you're supposed to do a lot of internal work and and and
Yeah.
and and, and strengthen your relationships in those times, planning, building, writing your scripts, having everything set up, having your projects package, get everything set up, reach out to people because now in the time of contraction, you have a lot of people who aren't working, so they have time to talk. They have time to meet up, time to get coffee, time to hang out. So it's a great time to network, talk to people, meet people. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. Um, and then in times of expansion, you act. You go. Right?
What time do you think we're in right now?
I think that we're at the beginning of another expansion.
Fuck yes. I love to hear that.
But every time it's not a circle, it's a spiral.
Mhm.
So every part of the spiral leads to a circle of motion, but it's different from the last part. So a
Mm.
circle would be like it's just consistently the same pattern. A spiral would be more like it's still different on the different levels of it. So what I mean from that is that the industry is never going to go back to what it was.
No, no, no. I completely agree with that. And I think there are a lot of people, not just actors, but I think a lot of people inside the industry that are failing to accept that. Um, where do you envision the industry heading as a whole?
I'm not smart enough to know that, brother. Who the fuck knows? Not me. I don't know, man. Shit. If I knew that, I'd be a millionaire already. I don't know that shit. But
Or you're not sharing. You want the money for yourself. No, I'm joking.
but about if I was to take an uneducated guess, I would say we're looking at a new category of filmmaking that's going to be invented, kind of like how um with AI.
I had a feeling you were touching that. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like AI is going to create a new category of filmmaking. There's going to be no escape from it. A lot of the jobs that it's kind of like remember, I don't, you remember when we were young, There used to be toll booth clerks.
Yes. Yes, I do
Now
remember that.
they just don't fucking exist anymore,
No.
basically. You know what I'm saying? So I think there's certain jobs that's gonna go the way of the toll booth clerk, but new jobs are gonna be made in this new industry of AI filmmaking. There's gonna be people that become like the first AI celebrity um actor. There's gonna be people just doing voice work. Voiceover is going to go the way of the dinosaur. You got things like 11 Labs and these places that are blowing up. I mean, the odd thing is that the people that are most safe are even the directing is going to become less of an elite class and just the standard artist position.
Wow.
It sounds so it's like directing is going to be you remember how like in the industry, history kind of repeats. So there was like an expansion, and the original studio directors were also cinematographers, a lot of them. And
Yeah. Yeah.
they're usually if you look at the Golden Age, a lot of them were like the writer, the director, and the
The
cinematographer.
cinematographer. Yeah.
Yeah. And then they had like this whole expansion, and that one job became three jobs.
Mhm.
You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
the author died for a while, and
S- s-
then you had a convergence, now on a contraction, and now it's like we haven't because of these tools, you're gonna have this big contraction where the artist is gonna merge, many roles from the artist is gonna merge into one person. The writer, the director, the cinematographer, the editor are all gonna become one person and,
mm.
more or less. You might have to have a different name for whatever the hell that is. But in the world of AI filmmaking, that's going to be the case. But human filmmaking is never going to disappear because um, it's going to be boutique, or people are still going to want to see things made by humans. Just like how people were like, "Oh, we got all these mediums, books are going to die." And just last year, Barnes and Noble was opening a bunch of stores all over the place. Books are booming right now. And why are books booming? A lot of times because of audiobooks. A lot of people who get the audiobook will eventually buy the printed book, even if they don't read it.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
No, that's
so,
so true. Yeah. So
so
yeah, we're going to go through an evolution. Like I refuse to believe that filmmaking will ever die. I know people are like, "Oh, it's over, it's over, it's over." We're just going down with the ship. But like, I think people said the same thing about theater when TV came out, when
yeah, of
movies
course.
came out, and theater is still very much alive. You know,
Contracting.
I, yeah, yeah. If anything, I think theater might make a resurgence with like with AI coming in and all that because people are going to want a sense of real, right? And you don't get more real than theater.
And
And I
humans.
think
Humans
exactly
always want to see themselves. We always want to see ourselves doing something.
right, right. And like I think the same with filmmaking as well. Like I don't think it's ever going to go away. It might be what theater was when film and TV first
It's
came
gonna it's
out,
gonna
but
contract though. It's gonna
yeah,
contract and stay contracted for a long time. It's never gonna expand again the way it was. Like like human filmmaking, as we know it, like how it was they was just throwing money at everybody like in the 2015, 16. That's never gonna happen again.
yeah, no, no.
No, that's
Hell, I
never
mean, like
like
I read the trades every day. Like I hardly see anything that's going to be filming in New York anytime soon.
New York has been
Uh,
there. I haven't
yeah,
made money in New York for years. I was making money in Jersey, in Atlanta, in LA, and even LA is dead.
no, LA is so dead. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, New York and LA are done for the industry. Jersey is where it's at. It's
Jersey's
where
where it's at. I know they're building a big Netflix studio, but like I'm seeing, it's weird. Like I'm seeing way more movies getting picked up or talking about getting
it
done,
was.
getting greenlit. But I'm not. I'm hardly seeing any TV. So I think the wave of TV, like that boom that we had back in the 2015, 2016 with TV, it's done. It's just
Well, the,
done.
the streaming is done
Yeah,
because the streaming was just a bubble. It was a hustle the whole time,
yeah, yeah.
and then
And now we're seeing
the
what it
bubble
is.
burst. Yeah, to the bubble burst. And it's weird. You know how I was saying like things really expand and contract, like this thing killed cable but now streaming is taking on so many traits of cable. It's basically becoming cable. It's also,
It all it all comes full
yeah,
circle, brother.
that's what
It
I'm
all
saying.
comes full circle.
That's what I'm saying, man. So it's kind of like it's strange, you know? It's just that wealth. What really happens a lot of times, the infrastructure breaks down and the jobs, coalesce and wealth goes into lesser and lesser hands. That's what
Yeah.
happens. Like the jobs, the wealth and stuff, it just goes into lesser hands. It's like less people to do more stuff. You see what I'm saying? So that
Yeah.
becomes a problem. But it's kind of like people are like, oh, TV is dead. But why is TV is dead? TV is dead because a whole generation of people younger than us, they're all making their money off of YouTube and TikTok.
YouTube, TikTok, right.
We don't understand that, so we're looking at these old systems and these old markets. But it's kind of like these kids are on the lifeboat and we're still on the Titanic being like, well, this is where all the food is at, and it's sinking, and we're like, oh, but all the wine is here, all the food is here. I can't get on the lifeboat. I don't understand how we're going to eat on the lifeboat. We have everything here, but the boat is actually sinking. There's literally water pouring into the
Right.
ship. You
Right.
know?
Oh my
So,
God. It's such a
you
spot
know,
on analogy here, what you're saying. It's sad. I mean, does it make you sad? Does it freak you out at all? I mean, like as far as like,
I had
the
people trying to
future
kill me
predicting?
since I was a kid, and so nothing freaks me out anymore. I was numb to being freaked out.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough.
No outcome could be worse than being a kid in an abusive environment and not being able to protect yourself from demons. You know what I'm saying? So after that, it's like everything else is just a bonus. It's just like, this stuff is more like, yeah, if it doesn't work, I'll do something else. And I can always write. My writing career has been going pretty good.
Mhm.
You see some of the posters of my books in the background.
That's right.
I have a
That's right.
couple of films, but like, yeah, we're artists, man. We're scrappy. We're misfits. We're degenerates. We're
We'll find a
volatile.
way. We'll
Yeah,
find a way.
we're the dirt bags of society. Everybody in society wants to just shut their eyes and be happy. And we're like the dude in Bird Box who just open their fucking eyes. That you know what I'm saying? I say like we're like it's our job to be dickheads. Like, you know what I'm saying? We're supposed to make people uncomfortable, fuck with them. They can't stop that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Dick tried to stop that. They was trying to kill the artists and the intellectuals and all the people when they come into power. And it's like, yo, or cut off our money or our financing or whatever. You can't stop us. We're the fucking butthole of humanity. Like we're like we like
Right.
you need us or you're gonna
Right.
die. You
And
might not like us, but
creativity is like the oldest form of just I mean, it stands about, the test of time. Like, even from the cavemen, like, just like acting things out. I
but,
mean,
but
like,
but it's advocacy too, right? Art is advocacy. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like the caveman on the wall. He's making his picture. Everybody who passes by that wall, they have to get the message, whether they
yeah.
want to or not.
Hmm.
He's advocating for something by making that image.
Yeah.
He's reminding them of something or showing them a possibility or taking something from them, but he's affecting them in a way that they weren't affected before because before they just walked past that wall and it was just a wall.
That's right. That's
So
right.
everything that we do, it's like we're putting a painting on the damn cave wall, and you try people get mad, they're racist and stuff, and then you put another painting on the fucking wall. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's like it's a never ending thing. We are waking people up from the zombifications of their soul, you know?
And like, you know what? I mean, like, career wise, will it hurt our pockets? What's going to happen next? Sure. But you know
Yeah.
what? At the end of the day, like, I'm always going to be an actor. You're always going to be a filmmaker. You're always going to be a writer. We're
I'm
always
not
going to
even
find a
I'm
way.
not I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry. No, we're always going to find a way to do our craft, to do what we love,
Yeah.
and like, because that's what we're doing. Because at the end of the day, we love it. Because if we didn't, fuck, we would definitely be doing something else.
No, I mean, but love and hate have nothing to do with compulsion. A lot of times
Mm,
people think that you have to love something to. I hate this shit sometimes. Most of the time,
Oh,
I hate
yeah.
this. Like, you know what I'm saying?
No, for you.
Compelled to do it. I don't have a choice. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't matter if I love it or if I'm happy about it, or if I'm sad about it. I don't have a choice.
You
It's a
feel strongly
compulsion.
about it. It's in you. It's in
It's
you.
a sickness. It's a
Yeah.
compulsion. Like you can't, it's a gift. It's like you can't hide from it. If you hide from it, you go the way of Robin Williams. A lot of people,
Oh,
you
fuck,
know,
dude.
it eats
Yeah.
you up from the inside. I mean, he had a lot of mental issues, with his brain and stuff. That was, but like, a lot of times think about when you weren't being creative and you was like, oh, I'm just gonna make money. No, fuck this shit. I don't love it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Because you
Mm-hmm.
believe that you had a choice
You
back in,
don't.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's like you're
Yeah.
cute. You thought you're getting away from me.
Yeah, you don't have a choice. It's a compulsion,
Yeah.
and so and it's like I don't even like to limit myself to these categories. Like, oh, I sound like I sound like I'm one of the modern kids. Like, I don't like labels, but no, I don't like to say that I'm a filmmaker. And what is a filmmaker? Ultimately, it's just a clothes that a storyteller wears.
Oh yeah.
Just like acting is just the clothes that a storyteller wears. The pure thing is the story. And this is why I'm saying stories are like the most important things in human life because it creates our identities collectively and individually, right? Like the idea of story. So it's kind of like, yeah, man, you just I'm just a storyteller. I'm just a storyteller. To me, you're just a storyteller at the end of the day who's wearing the clothes of acting. And this is how you convey your narratives. It's through acting. I could convey as a painter, I could tell a story.
Mm.
I could take the same story, get the signal from the universal mind, get that signal. It passes through the filter of my soul and experiences. And then I'd be like, what clothes can this story wear? But I can make it, I could use that same story as a play. I can use that same story as a book. I can use it in a film. I can act it out. I can paint it. I can sing it. I could tell it. But each form of me, whatever clothes I put on that story, form equals function. It's going to have a different effect on the audience or the people, and it's going to convey things in a subtly different way. You see what I'm saying?
No, I totally see what you're saying, and I think it's the most beautiful thing that was said in this podcast right now. But Jamal, I could talk to you all day about this stuff, and I'm sure we're going to talk more off the air.
Yeah.
But my man, you're welcome back here anytime.
Yeah,
Um,
man, it's great. You had me yapping.
no, dude, like, seriously, the only thing missing was an alcoholic beverage here.
If you need, some bud, you know what I'm saying? Some gummies.
But Jamal, thank you so much for doing the pod, man, for enlightening us. I wish your film all the best in the film festival. I hope it crushes it. Coming out August 8th. Um, Again, I can't thank you enough, Jamal. And as for me, ladies and gentlemen, with Beyond the Take podcast, you can follow us on all forms of social media. You could listen to this podcast anywhere you listen to your normal podcasts, YouTube, etc.
And
Um,
I would say
Boom. Plug.
The Dark Between the Twilight. It's on Amazon, wherever books are sold. It was nominated for a Bram Stoker Award this year. And this is my new book, Everything Endless, with the great Grandmaster Linda D. Addison. And that's also on Amazon, wherever books are sold.
Boom. There it is. And I'll make sure to put the links in the description as well for that. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for listening to us and take care. Cheers.